Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, November 1st, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at saroundtable.com. We got a Google update coming soon, but don't expect to recover from it. Google has been downgrading content that's starkly different from the main content of the site. Google AIO reviews expand big time. OpenAI is rolling out ChatGPT search. Spooky Google search ranking volatility to talk about. Google Ads reps making unauthorized changes, and so much more. So definitely stay tuned. And I'd like to thank our sponsor, Bruce Clay. Bruce Clay is one of the founding fathers of the SEO space, doing search marketing since 1996. Bruce Clay is big into SEO training, so check them out at seotraining.com. And to learn more about Bruce Clay, check them out at bruceclay.com as well. And they also have prewriter.ai, so check out prewriter.ai. Thank you for all you do, Bruce. Thanks for sponsoring. Okay, so the somewhat big news this week was that Google had a Google Web Creator Summit or Expo or event at the Googleplex where they invited about 20 or so content creators across multiple travel spaces, including travel, reviews, all this stuff, and to basically tell them your content is fine, our algorithms are poor, and we want to do better. And you could basically get a lot of recaps from the creators. A lot of them actually wrote up recaps. I have a big post where I started with like a couple recaps, and now there's like 6 or 7 different recaps added to it. Definitely take a look at it. There's a lot in there. There's quotes from obviously the Googlers that were there, like Pandau Nyack, Danny Sullivan, Elizabeth Tucker, Morgan from Charlton Craft wrote about it. Mike from Mountain Weekly News wrote about it, and there's a lot of other people who wrote about it. Let me just quickly go through some of their names. Josh Tyler wrote about it, Kim Snaith wrote about it, Steve Weber wrote about it, Laura from Travel Addicts wrote about it, Nate Hank wrote about it, Giselle from House Fresh wrote about it, Rutledge from Tech Raptor wrote about it, and Kylie from Between England and Everywhere wrote about it as well. There's other write-ups I think coming out, but I keep adding more and more to them. It's definitely worth reading. It's pretty interesting, so I definitely recommend you scanning through that. Super interesting stuff. We'll see what happens there. A lot of confusion because there's lots of different recaps, lots of different things, but it is very interesting to read that. Also, Google has sent a statement to Glenn Gabe basically telling him that one, the stuff we saw with Forbes and Fortune recommends and these types of like sections on big websites, that it's not the site reputation and Bruce algorithm that was not live yet, but it's related to an algorithm they released back in 2019 that looks to see if content is starkly different from the main content. And if it is, Google might adjust their rankings accordingly. Super interesting. It seems like, again, Google has made some changes in the past month or two to that algorithm where it's saying if your content in this section of your website is super different and independent and starkly different from that piece of content from the other main sections of the website, then Google might go ahead and say, hey, maybe your content shouldn't rank, that content shouldn't rank well in the Google search results. It's a big deal, so definitely take a look at that. John Mueller again said that it's doubtful you'd see any big ranking changes related to any core web vital changes. Again, said it's numerous times, and I'll repeat it one more time. Google has announced new expansions for AIO reviews. Is now rolling the biggest expansion yet, over 100 plus countries it's rolling out to, which is over 1 billion users. So this really brings out AIO reviews to many more people. You may see it right now. It doesn't seem like it's in the European region so far, but it seems like it's in a lot of different countries, so definitely take a look at that. Not to be outdone, OpenAI has released yesterday their ChatGPT search. It's available for paid users. Also, if you try to opt in and join the waitlist for Search GPT, you should be able to access ChatGPT search for free. And it should roll out in the next coming few months or so. And that it seems interesting. It's so personalized that if I do the same query as you, it's totally different. The results seem to really promote citations in a big way, which is great, but it's really early. We got to see. I made a joke like, are we going to see OpenAI make Google dance like Microsoft CEO said when they announced Bing Chat back in the day, and nothing really happened, but we will see. Then we had what I reported about this morning, the Halloween 2024 Google search ranking update. It was really weird, spooky if you want to call it that, where we saw some significant changes for like a couple hours yesterday, right before Halloween events. And then things seem to calm down and revert. I have a lot of coverage of it, a lot of quotes. Something big happened around then. Then also something big happened on October 26th and 27th, and then 23rd and 24th, which I covered as well. Google has made updates to its URL structure documentation, small updates there, small updates to its Favicon documentations as well, and added a new document around Google Trends, so you can learn more about that as well. Google's testing a frequently saved label in the Google search results. This was spotted by Nate Lewis as well as Sachin Patel. Nice find there. Google's also testing mentioned products carousel for like Reddit results. This is super interesting. Again, it's spotted by Sachin. Has like a carousel of products that were mentioned in the actual Reddit post. It must be part of their partnership. I'm not sure, but super interesting. Google's also showing trust scores from APIVoid, ScamAdviser, and others. This is some type of weird entity result. I'm not sure. I mean, I was able to replicate this myself, but I spotted this via Valentine Pletzer. Super interesting. Again, this is weird. I can't replicate this for other places, but was able to replicate this for one thing. This is weird to see this. Big news this week on the ad side is that Google ad rep has been, Ginny Marvin from the Google Ads Liaison confirmed that an ad rep actually made unauthorized changes to an ad account. It was supposedly a one-off and it was a mistake, but those changes weren't even in the change log in the history tab, which is super scary and super confusing. They did apologize, and I assume they will remedy it, but again, it's super scary to know that Google can make changes to your account in an unauthorized way and not track those changes. How do you keep track of so many accounts when it's not even showing up there? Google has made updates to this raise budgets feature. Like, it has recommendations. It says raise your budget, and previously it didn't really tell you why you should raise your budget and what it would do if you raise your budget. But according to Hannah, who posted on LinkedIn, basically showing that, and also on PPC News, that if there's new data around, here's a screenshot, new data showing you what would happen if you actually raise your budget, which is super useful for the first time. Google Ads also has this new sales and leads conversion report with these tabs. This is pretty useful again. Nice spot there from Hannah. And there's also these new business link asset types, which are in pilot right now that you could probably ask your ad rep to actually test, again spotted by Hannah. Google seems to be sunsetting call ads next year at some point. They're going to be migrating or changing to responsive search ads. Supposedly most people didn't even use these call ads, which is fine. But again, this is first spotted by Dario Zanoni on LinkedIn, and then PPC Greg asked about this, and ad liaison Ginny Marvin said there's no specific date at this point, but likely sometime next year it will be converted. It will be gone. Advertisers will be alerted ahead of time, Ginny Marvin said. Google's testing scrollable search ads, carousels. Super interesting again to see these like scrollable ads where you scroll through different categories. Again, spotted by Sachin, nice find there. Bing seems to be hiding its ad labels again. This one is after the domain name. Super interesting. Again, it's just weird to see this. And also we spotted a change from Shaheen, where they have this like line break between the ad and the organic results, which is nice. But this Frank Satman spotted again. He's always on top of these Bing stuff, and it looks like Bing is just doing some really sneaky stuff with their ads. Bing is testing a new knowledge panel design, which is more like boxy and circle boxes and so forth, which is pretty neat. I like that one. On the local side, Google Maps is we're actually rolling out new AI features in Google Maps, specifically things to do, where you search for things to do, and Google will give you like these more creative ideas. Here's a screenshot of how that looks. Also review summaries, where Google's using AI to summarize the reviews. And if you want to ask questions about this place, Google's letting you ask questions about a specific place in the Google business listing, where Google will use AI to actually give you answers. It's super, super scary. We also saw learn something about or something like that earlier this week, which we reported about, which is again part of that. Again, super interesting. Google Business Profiles is testing reviews within photo carousels, where if you scroll through, like you go to Business Profile, you're looking through the actual pictures of the business, there's actually embedding reviews. This is spotted by David Hills. I can't replicate this, but he is able to see it on and off. Google is now highlighting menus as the main search result at the top, menu carousels for a brand. So if you are a big restaurant, Google might show you the menu of that restaurant right at the top. This is spotted by Bright Local. Nice find there. And then on the ad revenue news, Google and Microsoft both announced their earnings report. Google announced that their revenue is up 10% on the ad revenue side. Their overall revenue is up 15%, really big quarter for them. It was their biggest ad revenue quarter ever, and we're expecting Q4 to be even bigger, so keep that in mind. And also Microsoft Bing announced their ad revenue is up about 18%. It was up 19% last quarter. Now it's a little bit down in terms of being up 18%. But in any event, that's that. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. And this is the search news we covered over the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com over the past week. Again, thanks to Bruce Clay for sponsoring. Everyone have a great, safe weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Goodbye.